Good morning, everybody. Oops. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing? Hopefully, you're doing well. Today is November 1st, Friday, November 1st. I gotta get some coffee in me. Um, what does that mean? It means Thanksgiving's around the corner. Not that I really care about it all that much anymore. I've celebrated like two Thanksgivings in the last like 35 years. So we have a little dinner or something, but we don't always have turkey or anything like that. So, not a big deal most of the time. So let me see here. We got a whopping 6 people in the first 4 minutes. Nobody's in the chat, of course. Now we got 9 people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about the truth and reality. What reality is for expats here in Thailand. I know we've done this subject before. I actually am doing this because someone said something about the realities of living in Thailand and how, good morning, Dale, and how many of the people who YouTube here uh, in Thailand are just completely full of shit. Let me read this. I've seen some of your older videos on living in Thailand in your earlier days, and I think your experiences tend to reflect the reality for most expats and tourists, including this stream. That was yesterday's stream. During that period, you should discuss these topics more, especially considering life as an expat in Thailand is in many ways much different, although some things never change. You mentioned the guy who I was talking about yesterday. He said, I checked him out. In my opinion, he's a total tool who has no idea what he's talking about. I don't know if he does or not, and it really doesn't matter to me. Um, he is what he is. And, I thought he was a decent guy, but, I mean, he's making his YouTube videos. That's all. His girlfriend is with him for money, no doubt. Okay. I don't really know that. Whatever. But he pretends that's not the case. He may not pay her like a hooker, but he pays for everything, including her spending money. Um, I don't know why. I mean, I understand. You're a guy, you want your girl to be with you all the time. Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, come on, baby, let's go. Let's go to Koh Samet. Let's go to Koh Samui. Let's go to Chiang Mai. Let's go, honey. Oh, I can't go. I got a job. Now, if they're able to work online, that's a different story. But like maybe if they're doing OnlyFans or maybe they have a legitimate job where they can work online. But I would say most women who are working, they have to go into their office, and thus they cannot be with their man. Like if he's out YouTubing, I know this for a fact. Sometimes my wife would love to go with me, but this week is very busy. I can't go anywhere. You want to wait until next week? I'm not sure about next week. Okay, I'm just going to go. And that's how it works. That's one of the realities here. You see older guys with younger women, and they're paying basically, if they're paying, which most of them are, if they're older, I mean like 60, 70, that kind of age. And there was some girls 25. Most of the time, they're just paying them, and they don't care. You know, give me some money, I'll go along with you. Okay, you know. And the reason that that woman is with them is because maybe they can't get some girl who works in an office or works in a business or whatever, and that girl's got to stay at work. So she couldn't go if she wanted to go. So I just take this one. And they know that. People know this. That's one of the truths here. The older guys are either married and they have their relationship, however solid or not solid it may be. Uh, like me, my wife works. She didn't always work. And I was fine with that because I wanted her to take care of the kids as they were growing up. I said, you got to form that bond with them. Now, they have a very strong bond. And I'm glad that I did that. But, if I was not okay with her going to work or not okay with being going alone somewhere, she couldn't work. Now, she can't work. She likes her job. She makes good money at it. So why wouldn't she go to work? I understand if she's a little older. Okay, now I'm going to retire. All right, whatever. But I think, nowadays you get these guys, they're on YouTube and they're 25 years old. Maybe they're 30 years old, 22 years old, whatever. They have very little experience in life. They have very few life experiences. And yet they can come online. Hey, they come see me. Come, check this out, man. And sometimes it's great. There's not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. But sometimes they just don't know. I mean, and one thing that I think is there is no one answer for this, uh, and that is the cost of living here. Because guess what? If you got more money, generally your cost of living is going to be a little bit higher. That's how it works. Let's see here. The commentator nailed who that guy is, an Instagrammer who walks around and thinks he's an expert on Thailand. Too many of these guys in Thailand now. I believe YouTube has ruined Thailand with all of the promotion videos of prostitution, bogus cost of living videos. And I don't say that they're bogus, but I say there's really only one answer, and that is as much money as you have, that's what you can spend. I mean, you can spend it on savings, you can spend it on, your apartment, your house, whatever money you have, that's what you're supposed to live within your means. Now, that doesn't mean you got $200 a month to spend and you're going to be able to live here. No, there is a minimum. And that also varies because you have to think about things that some people just don't think about. I mean, like I said before, you need to have insurance. And that they don't have dental insurance here. They don't have vision insurance. So you got to pay for your dental and vision also. You need clothes. Once in a while, I go out and I spend a few thousand baht, whatever it may be. Sometimes it's 2,000, sometimes it's 10,000. And I go out and buy some new clothes. I buy some shoes. I buy this, I buy that. And, that way I keep up so that the clothes I have, they're not all worn out. Everything is just, in tatters. So you got to think about that. Then you got to think about your visa. Even if you have a retirement visa or what's the new one, the LTR visa, you got to think about money for that. So you have to factor that in, right? A lot of people don't. They just go, "Oh yeah, but that's not included." Yes, it is included. If you've got to pay 10,000 baht for a year for your visa, let's just say, or let's say 12,000. That's 1,000 baht a month. You got to factor that into the budget because you're going to have to pay at some point. Too many of these guys in Thailand now. I believe Thailand has ruined Thailand with all the promotion. Okay. Meanwhile, you rarely hear anyone discuss the realities of Thailand because they fear the insane defamation laws. Thailand was a much different country before these videos started popping up 10 years ago. Now, what I will agree on with this guy who wrote is that, um, more than 10 years ago, it was much different on YouTube. When I first came on, I think there were only a few vloggers. I think, what's his name? Retired Cheap JC, maybe Sonny. And he came a little bit after. Rob, maybe, but he came a little bit after. And there were a few guys, a handful of guys. Now, I mean, there's too many. Like I always say, Thailand has been done to death. And you know why I like it here? Because I live here. I don't care what anybody else is doing. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make a difference to me. Oh, Mark Weeds, of course. Now he got into a niche, he does it well, and so he's doing well, and that's great for him. You know, but that's one of my points is that now you have all these people, and what happens is people will come in, oh, I'm going to stay here. And then, what I do is sometimes I stumble across a video, just like I did with the guy yesterday. I'm just looking around, just seeing if there's anything I want to watch. Because sometimes I'll open up a couple little, 30-second, 1-minute videos and just watch them real quick. And, you have all these people. And like, let's say today's January 1st, 2024. Yeah, moved to Thailand. Woo, yeah. Then after a month, I've been in Thailand 1 month. Things to know when you come here, that kind of stuff, which is okay, fine, whatever. Again, it doesn't really matter to me. And then you look, and it's January 1st of 2025, and the person's not there anymore. They're back in Wisconsin or Arizona, or maybe they're in another country. I moved on. So they're a short stay person. Now, I've seen a couple of people. There's one guy, I don't remember his name, but he's very fit. I don't think that he's real young, but he's like in his 30s. He speaks good, really good Thai, and he trains in Muay Thai, and he's good. Now, that guy, I look at and I have respect for him because he's integrated himself, and that's the truth. He's integrated himself into the society. He's doing all kinds of things, some that are Thai, some that are his own. Just because you come to Thailand doesn't mean you need to lose whatever nationality that you are. And just because you come to Thailand doesn't mean you can't take on some of the things that suit you best, whatever kind of occupation you have or don't have. You can do whatever you want here. That's the beauty of it. But what I think is if you get some guy, he's 22 years old, he's 24, 25 years old. First of all, they don't have the life experience. Second, they haven't really done anything. I mean, maybe some guys have, but getting a degree doesn't really count. I mean, it counts if you want to be an English teacher here, or you want to get into a profession here. That's what you're doing. You actually thought that out and planned it and decided to come here. But basically, when you're here, I mean, yeah, it might help you get a job easier, but really, you have a degree. And so, what is that going to do for you here? You have to think about that. Are you going to be able to do anything with it? So, let's say that you don't have a degree. You come here and you're 25 years old. Oh, I'm sick of the U.S. Oh, I can't stand it. It's terrible. Oh, my God. I hear that all the time from people. People write me and they tell me, dude, I just got to get out of here. And I'm like, is it that bad, really? I know some people that will say, yes, it is that bad. I know a lot of people who they go, listen, you just mind your own business. You're doing your own thing there. Not, and most of the time, people, you don't get involved in, all these protests and shit like that. And most people don't bother you. So to me, and it's like saying, oh, in America, all the girls, they're all out for their money. And, most of them are big and fat. And that's a bunch of bullshit. Every time I go to America, I see hot women. Now, maybe they're with a guy and he's a sugar daddy. Maybe, she's earning her own money. She makes good money. She doesn't need a guy's money, and she's with a guy that she actually wants to be with. I'm sure that happens. But, when I came over here at 32, I didn't know shit. That was the reality. Most of the time you come over here, it takes you a few years. Now, I think Jono's been here 5 years. Now, he doesn't go as many places as I go or I have went. And that's okay. That's his choice. But he has learned a lot of the ins and outs and ways. He is entrenched in Thai society. He's, like I said yesterday, he's even learning to speak Thai, which to me goes a long way. Even if you think, oh, I'm not good at this, it's terrible. Oh, I can't speak Thai very well. Okay. God, I can just hear my cat tearing up the sofa. Hey, Nancy. Fucking terrors, these cats, man. I like them when they're mellow. But now they're running all around the house, chasing each other. Then they run up on the sofa, scratch the sofa, then they come down. So I guess what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're on YouTube and you're doing something about woodworks, or you're doing something about Thailand, that's fine. Whatever, do whatever you want. But people do look at each other in a different light. I'm sure there are people that don't like me, and I'm sure there are people who love me, and they may not always agree with me, and that's fine. Of course, I'm always right. That's a joke. Hey, hey, knock it off. They jump on the chairs move, then they jump on the table and they bounce up and down. They're just crazy cats, man. Anyway, um, that's just like, these are just a couple little things. And when you get into things like, I mean, the cost of living is a really big thing. If you think you're going to come over here and you're 22 or you're 24, 25, and you're going to live off $800 a month, you better have a different plan. Really. I mean, you can get a room if you really want. You can get a room that's 2,000 baht. It's a piece of shit, but it's a room. And maybe the Thais won't even rent it to you because they're like, no, what's going on there. But sometimes, you might get in there. But I mean, listen, I've been in this house here for like 11 years, 10, 11 years. It's 7,000 baht. They haven't raised the rent once. And, every day that goes by, every day that my wife earns money, every day that I earn money, we're putting money away. We have more money for a house. Now, I've said it in the past. Personally, I don't really care if we um, go ahead and buy a house or we don't. Whatever happens is fine with me. I mean, really, that is how laid back I am now. And I would say a lot of it comes with knowing that no matter what, I'm okay. And I've had that attitude for a long time. You know why? Because I've been through some shit. I've had some trials and tribulations as an expat and not as an expat. And that's the thing. When you're 22 years old, most guys who are 22, mommy and daddy paid for your education. Um, maybe they gave you a little nest egg to get started on. Maybe you worked at a company or whatever, and then you just go, I got to take some more time off. I think this is no good for me. And like, really, if you're 22 years old, you have a life to live. If you know you're going to come to Thailand and do a job, that's a different story. But I mean, thinking to yourself, I'm going to be an English teacher and I'm going to do really well. Yeah. Okay. If you're 22 and you want to be an English teacher, I don't know what to tell you, man, because that's not the brightest move. And what I've said in the past is that quite a few people come here. And listen, I did this too. They come here and, like I had money coming in. That money stopped. And I went, holy shit, what am I going to do? My buddy said to me, hey, go teach English. You can do that. I said, oh, and now this is like 29 years ago, 28 years ago. I said, okay. And I got hired. And I did it for 3 months. And then I found another job. I was earning more money. I had a place to live. They provided a place to live. The guy provided a place to live. I said, okay, well, this is another step. And the one thing that a lot of people don't think of, and, I see all these guys. I say all these guys. Sometimes I see people on YouTube. Hey, check out what I can get for 20,000 baht for like $600, $500. Check this great apartment out. Well, first of all, you can get an apartment for a lot less than that. A nice apartment. And if you don't have a lot of money, it's probably not wise to be spending $1,000 a month on a place to live, unless you got like 20,000 or 10,000 coming in every month that you can rely upon. You know, you keep your bills to a minimum, and then if you've got, and that's what I did. Listen, I had a little place on. Wow, there's a lot of comments today. Hello, everybody, all you lurkers out there. Oh, what happened here? Okay, what was I saying? Um, Shows you where I am. Hang on a second. I don't remember what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. Um, and I can't remember. Dementia is setting in, I guess. Um, yeah. I cannot imagine. I'm thinking about the money. I cannot imagine. You know what? When I came over here and I had money coming in every month, it's about $1,500 every month. Now, the Thai baht, I don't remember. I think it was maybe after 2 or 3 years, the Thai baht went to about 55. So I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. 55. Now, I wasn't doing anything because I'm like, I got plenty of dough, man. But really, I didn't, because and I wasn't living high on the hog, but I was, I was going out partying and just, I do whatever I want. If I feel like going somewhere, if I feel like going to Koh Samui, I'll go. If I feel like going to Koh Samet, I'll go. Hey, I got money. I'm going to Koh Samet. Okay. Not the brightest move. Boy, I've learned a lot from being here, and how important your money is. It's a tool. And even now, I think to myself, when I have money, do I need to spend that money? And I'm not cheap, but I am frugal. Do I need to spend this? Is this a want or a need? And if it's a want, do I really, really want it? I've been wanting a Rico GR3 or 4. I think it's 4 now, for probably 6 years. And every time I look at it, I just go, yeah, I got to spend 43,000 baht on it. And I'm like, I'd rather have that money to pay the bills. I have cameras. So I'm like, no, I don't need it. So I guess when you're young, the good thing is that you have plenty of time ahead of you. Sweating my ass off already, eh? The good thing is that you have plenty of time. You screw up, you can go back home, you start all over again. You can do whatever you want, you know. And that's what I thought. I thought to myself, I'll stay here for a year. Things don't work out. I'll go back. I got money in the bank, and everything will be copacetic. Didn't really work out that way, because I wanted to stay longer, and then I started getting addicted to going out, doing whatever I wanted. I just thought, man, this is the life. I do whatever I want, and I do that now. But guess what? The things I do now versus before. Now I do things, and I'm pretty smart about things. My one vice is probably coffee, but it's not all that much. It doesn't factor in and make a big, huge difference on anything. And I guess sometimes I see guys in there spending $1,000, $1,500, or something like that on an apartment. Man, I got the crib, man. Check this place out, man. This place is a chick magnet, man. Hey, man, I've been there. You know, I lived in a place that cost me 45,000 a month with the uh, electric and water. And at the time, I had to have a second line because one of the lines was a modem and one of them was the phone, and they didn't want to have the phone line and the modem. Well, what it was is if I was using a phone for the modem, then you pay like 3 baht a minute. They rape you in some of these places. And that's how they were. They were like, we got to charge you 3 baht a minute. I said, no, no, no. So I got another line and I didn't have to pay that, but I had to pay a monthly service fee. So I paid for two phones, paid for the water, paid for the electric, paid for a maid to clean my room all the time, which that was about 500 baht a month. So I was paying 45,000 baht a month. Once my wife got into the picture, I mean, I had that place for like, but when I started, what I did was I got a little room. It was just one room. It cost me 9,000 baht, and I was like, this is fine for me. I don't need bigger than this. I'm not claustrophobic or anything like. Now I am, and I thought, okay, you know, when I'm ready and I have money, I will get a bigger place, and I did. I got a 15,000 baht place. I thought, woo, I made it. Then I started having a lot more money, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm moving up. And that's when I got the place on the top floor. It had a huge balcony. Um, it was 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. And it was, now looking back, I was paying too much. But I was like, look what I got. Look at my place, man. It's cool. And my wife went there and she goes, why are you spending all this money on this place? She's like, you don't need it. She's like, all you need is a place with a kitchen and a bed, and it's just got to have a little bit of room for you, and that's all you really need. So she started looking around for a place for me, and then she just goes, hey, you know what? I got a place. I'll let you stay here, and if you want to get another place, you can move into another place. You can do whatever you want. I said, okay, no problem. I finally found a YouTuber talking about Thailand with common sense. Well, you know what I've noticed is that none of my subscribers are watching. Well, some of them watch, 2 or 3 different videos, or they're watching some off channel that maybe has something good about, politics or whatever it might be. But a lot of them will not go to some knucklehead who's been here for 2 months, and I mean, I saw one that said, I've got my apartment in Thailand. It's my first apartment ever. I'm like, that's definitely trying to hit a different genre than I'm trying to hit. I mean, that's great. You got your own apartment, you're in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good for you. Now let's see. Let's see after a year if you're still here. Let's see after 2 years if you're still here. Because I can tell you, I have seen people come and go from here. I've seen people in the early days when I was here 4 or 5 years. I used to go out. I used to go out all the time, and my wife didn't care. So when my wife then, she was my girlfriend. She cared, but she didn't say much about it. But I used to see all these guys in the bar. They would go, "Oh yeah, yeah, I got this girlfriend." And I go, "Oh yeah, really? Where'd you meet her?" "Oh, I met her at the G spot." I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay." I'm like, "You think that's a good idea?" "What do you mean?" "Okay." And yeah, I'm going to bring her back to England. I'm going to bring her back to the U.S. or whatever it was. And after a couple of months, I'd see the same guy. "Oh, no, no, I got a new girlfriend now." you know, and things work out. Sometimes they don't work out. But, the point is sometimes you get guys and they think, "Oh, my God, this is the best place ever." And listen, let me just hit you with the dose of reality. And you know what? If you don't like it, that's fine. I don't care. But don't tell me to leave Thailand because I don't agree with everything that Thailand is doing. I don't. Just like I don't agree with everything the United States is doing. So if I say something negative about Thailand, like, you know, there's a lot of red tape sometimes when it doesn't need to be. I'm allowed to say that, regardless of what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter. I can say something negative. Now, what I won't do is get into the whole defamation and the monarchy and all that kind of stuff. Why? It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me to get involved with something that you're going to get thrown in jail for. Now, I don't always agree on everything, and I think things could be different, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't talk about it with my wife. My wife doesn't talk about it with the kids. The kids don't talk about it with me. We don't care. Life just keeps rolling on. And if something really affects you, then you need to make a change. But that doesn't affect me. I don't feel the need to go out and badmouth all sorts of people. And I could. Now, maybe somebody would badmouth me. Okay, that's their right. But, I don't get all bent out of shape about it. So if something doesn't affect you, then what the hell are you even debating it for? Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello, host. Okay, hello. My name is Scott, in case you don't know. You hear my cat? Can everybody hear all right? The sound is good today? If my sound is good, you can hear the cat meowing. Sound is good. Gills, how you doing? How's everything going? Good. Okay. I like to hear that. It's so funny. You know what I did was I charged up both microphones. And maybe that made a difference. I don't know. Because I know the one died out and I thought I just charged this. But it is what it is. I'm gonna get it. I got a couple other microphones I want to order, and I'll probably order in another, I don't know, a couple of weeks, that are much better than the ones I have now. And these are actually pretty good for the price. Man, these are cheap. I think my buddy got me this one microphone, and one of the mics doesn't have a spring on it. The clip doesn't have a spring on it, so you have to use a safety pin or something like that. And I was like, okay, I can live with that. And it seems to work fine. You cannot charge up the receiver because the receiver goes into the phone charges the receiver. And if you plug a cable into the receiver, it will charge the phone. I have not found a cable that fits. Not one cable will fit. The Android, the C, the UBC, USB-C, the Lightning, none of them fit. So I thought, oh, well, I'm just going to buy another one. I'll buy another. I looked it up. It was like $10. I go, okay. So I look around and I get this thing. Let me see how much I got it for. It was pretty cheap, though. Real cheap. Let's see here if I can do this. Yes. My purchases. I got it through Shopee. With the shipping, it was 168 baht, which is about $5. $5 for two microphones and a receiver, and it's wireless, and it seems to work fine. And then what happened was I told them, I said, I can't fit the cable in the receiver. I can't fit the cable in the receiver. I asked them, is this thing charging through the phone, or do you need to plug it in and charge it from the wall unit, or the from a plug? Oh, no, 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 no. It needs to be plugged in. I said, "Oh, that's really weird because I got lightning, I got all the cables, and none of them fit." He's like, "I tell you what, I'll send you another microphone." I said, "Okay." So I get another microphone and another receiver. It still doesn't fit. It's the same size. It doesn't fit. So then he goes, "Oh yeah, well when you plug it in, it gets power from the iPhone." I said, "Okay." Well, now I got the three microphones plus I got two other microphones my buddy gave me, which I can use, and plus I have a wired microphone. Plus I have the Rode microphone, which if it's charged up fully, then it's a good microphone. However, the one good thing about this is that I have two microphones. So, for instance, Jim, who comes into the chat quite often, he's supposed to come down here, I think, in like another 10 days or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. But anyway, he's supposed to come down. I think it's maybe on the 11th. I don't know. So if I stream with him, I can use two microphones. So I have a microphone, he has a microphone, instead of just sticking a microphone in between us and saying, okay, well, hopefully you can hear this. So it's really good. The microphone situation seems to be working out, and I can't believe that these are so cheap, and I'd say they're pretty good. What my goal is, just so you guys know, what one of my goals is to get myself like uh, either a really high end MacBook Air, or get myself a laptop with Windows, and then get a couple of microphones, and then there's a box you can get to change. You can put on what do you call it? You can put on different sounds. You can do all kinds of things with it, and you can switch over on the video. You can hit a button; it'll switch from one person to another, and then actually do like a real show, like in my opinion, to where I maybe have a guest once a week or something like that, and we're talking and we're carrying on a conversation, and hopefully that'll work out. But I'm talking about with big mics like Shure or something like that, and it's set up as like a video podcast instead of what I'm doing right now, which is kind of the same, but it's just done a little bit differently. And in order to really do it the way I want to do it, I need to have somebody else come in, but also I need to be able to have something where I have multiple cameras. So anyway, that's that. Now the cost of living, this is a big thing because, as I was saying, because yeah, you can get by on next to nothing. I mean, $800, $1,000. Yeah, you can scrape by, especially if you own your own place. If you don't own your own place, then you got to be paying next to nothing for rent. But let's just say, you don't make much money. Well, then, you have less options for, say, healthcare. You have to watch out because you need to make sure you can pay your visa fees, and you can handle all the extra fees. And one thing that people don't really think about is generally, if you're bringing money over here, it costs you money. Now, it doesn't cost you a whole lot unless you're sending over a whole lot. If you've got a whole lot, you're probably not worried about it. If you're sending over $800 and you're paying like $16, well, that's 500 baht. That might be, a couple of meals for you, you know. But the one thing is that while you can get by on cheap, I am here to tell you that Thailand is not cheap. It's not cheap. There are some things that are cheap, and there are some things that are not cheap. There are some things that will cost more than in the U.S., and some things that will not cost more than in the U.S. It's just like anywhere else. Now, in the past, it used to be you could get something for 30 cents and it was a full meal. That's not how it is anymore. You want to get a meal, it's a buck 50, buck 25, buck 50. I mean, that isn't much, right? But we're just talking about food on a small scale. multiply. And some people, they think, oh, I'm just going to eat Thai food. And that's all they do. They come, they have a bowl of noodles, and then they go and they have some pad thai, and then they have some fried rice for dinner. That shit gets boring. That's the truth. And I dare say it's not just the truth for me, it's the truth for many people out there who come here who think, oh, yeah, Thai food is great, man. I'm going to just eat Thai food. And then after like a month of doing nothing but eating Thai food, you go, God, man, I'm sick of this. You know, maybe some people think it's so great. Oh, wow, I can get food for, I can only spend $10 a day, and I have, meals 3 times a day, and it's so great. Okay, if that's what you think is great and you're doing well, then you and me are on a different level. I think if you need to get by, 300 baht, yeah, you can get by on that. You can get by on 200 baht. 150 baht. I don't remember what I did, but I thought it was a 150 baht challenge where I was only spending 150 baht in a day. It might have been 200 baht. 200 baht is a little easier, especially if you only eat twice a day. But that's like Thai food or food, just like some chicken or something. It's just prepared in a Thai way. It's not really something that you would consider a Thai meal. But if you want to go out, and get a big juicy cheeseburger, guess what? Even at McDonald's, they're starting to cost a little bit much. But if you go out to a good, like a decent restaurant, just a place, they serve nothing but burgers, you're going to pay around $10. $10, $15 by the time you get out of there with fries, with something to drink, with a double cheeseburger with bacon on it. You're talking about $10 to $15. Now, I don't know about you. Maybe that's cheaper than in the United States. I understand that. But that's not cheap. $15 is not cheap. Listen, I go in, they got Cocoa Pebbles now in the grocery store. It's about $9 for one box of Cocoa Pebbles that is not that big. I don't know how many grams it is, but it's not that big. And, Nicholas used to love Cocoa Pebbles. So when we first saw it, we go, all right, I'll splurge. I'll get it. We got like 3 boxes. We spent like 1,000 baht. We got 3 boxes of Cocoa Pebbles. Yeah, well, I mean, you might pay a little bit less here. I mean, I see the ice cream. Holy shit, what is this? Um, you might see some ice cream. You might see something else, a little dessert or something, and they serve like I think McDonald's and KFC. They don't have a Burger King in the mall anymore, but they serve a cone with ice cream, and it's like I think it's 29 baht. It's like 19 baht in KFC. They have this other place called Mixum, and they're everywhere. And they are. Is it 15 baht? Yeah, it's 15 baht. 15 baht. And then there's another one right by the market. I don't know what it is. It's like a bubble tea shop, but they serve ice cream. 15 baht for a cone. Now that's cheap, right? You think that's cheap. But there's a lot of things, they are not cheap. And you could still say, oh, Thailand, the cost of living is lower than in the United States. Yes. But it depends on where you are in the United States. If you're in, Mississippi or Kansas or Tennessee or somewhere like that, guess what? It's fairly inexpensive there compared to New York or Los Angeles. So I don't know where this idea that, I understand it 30 years ago, 20 years ago, Thailand was fairly cheap. Now prices have gone up and up and up and up. I always talk about the grocery store because I go there all the time. My ex lives in Cali, and it's $35 to $40 for both of them to eat at Wendy's. That's insane. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, if I was to go with two people, not four, it probably costs about 35 bucks, 40 bucks for four people. However, you can also get it through like Grab or something like that, and you can get deals where it's maybe $15 and you get enough, like you get some fish sandwiches and you get some other kind of things. You get fish sandwiches, you get hash browns, you get some French fries, you get some drinks, and it's like 15 bucks. So there are things in Thailand that can be inexpensive if you know what to do, where to buy from. You can get things inexpensively. Hi, Bruce. How you doing? If you don't know, then guess what? You're going to be paying through the nose. You know, I know somebody who buys through Grab every single day, or damn near every day. He buys through Grab. Now he's probably spending, if he buys one meal, he's probably spending at least 300 baht. I mean, you can make some dishes at home, and they're fairly inexpensive. Or you can make some dishes at home, like if I'm going to cook up some shrimp or some lobster or something like that, and it's expensive. The point is that while it was cheaper before in Thailand, and now it still may be cheaper in many ways, the price has gone up to where it's not cheaper. It's just some things are inexpensive and some things they're just not. You try to go get some a stereo system or a computer or something like that. They're gonna cost about the same as what they cost in America or more. Computers are not cheaper here. I can tell you that right now. They are not cheaper. Now, if you want to buy some piece of shit, some Wang Li, that's the brand from like China, and it's got no memory and it's very slow and it's old. Well, yeah, you can get something like that. Yeah, maybe you pay 500-600 bucks, but it's not going to be top of the line. It's just not. You can buy a computer here, top of the line. It's like 120,000, 150,000. That's like some Apple stuff. You get an Apple like desktop, and the screen's big, and yeah, okay, I get this, I get that, but it costs you through the nose. So that's the one thing. The cost of living, I think, is online, and there's a lot of people that still think it's cheap, and it's not. And in the uh, tourist areas, Jesus Christ, it's unreal. Somebody told me, who was it that said the other day? Somebody paid like 160 baht for uh, what the hell was it? Cowpad guy or something like that. You pay like 160 baht. You can get it for 40, 50 baht pretty easily. You can get yourself an extra large version of it for like 60 baht. It's ridiculous. What is this? There's a lot of places everywhere. Refurbished gear is, yeah, but sometimes I don't want refurbished. I want brand new. Refurbished, yeah, you're going to get a better price on it. Okay, I understand that. But sometimes I don't want that. When I'm going to go out and buy a new computer, I want a new computer. I don't want something that's refurbished. I don't want something that's been through the ringer. I don't. I'd rather save for an extra couple of months and get myself something brand new than get something refurbished. And I mean, I have my stuff for a long time and it lasts. I make my stuff last. My computer is almost 11 years old. My Mac. And I'm getting to the point where, maybe in another year, 2 years, I'm going to buy a new one. And I'll buy a MacBook Air because those are as powerful or more powerful than what you can get in the past. It was just a MacBook Pro. Did I say this today? No, I don't think I did. 33.78 dollar to the baht. Pretty good. I saw it was 33.87 about 3-4 hours ago. Air quality 64, which is it's okay. Temperature 82. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gills. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that helps get one of the items. I'm hoping that in one day I can get more than five or more super chats. And I have to say something. Let me finish this here though. Mac Air is really good. Yeah, thanks again there, Gills. Choke D to you. Appreciate that. 64 air quality, 82 degrees, high of 92, low of 78, and the feel like temperature is 88. Humidity is 80%. Now, for those of you who are on my Patreon, if you signed up for Patreon through Apple, I just got to let this out there. Apple has just said we will not carry Patreon on our App Store if you don't give us 30%. So for anybody who has bought it or buys through Apple, that's not how you do it. You go through the website online. You don't need to go through Apple because Apple charges an extra 30%. And that in itself makes me, I have my problems with Apple, but I've had Apple for a long time. Ever since 2008 Olympics, I was sold on Macs because I was in the journalist section, the media section, and they provided. It was just a whole room full. It was probably 200 Macs in the room, and I was like amazed at how high the quality was of everything. And I think I had the Apple III when it came out. And so obviously there's a difference between then and now. But I think now PCs have caught up quite a bit. And when I see this kind of stuff and, the way that Apple operates, I'm just kind of over it. And it's kind of like Starbucks. I have not been the only time I've been in the Starbucks is when we were at the hospital and my wife wanted to buy something for the boys. And so she went in and got a couple of Frappuccinos or whatever. That's it. I went with her. But I'm sick of Starbucks, to be honest. I'm sick of their whole shtick. I'm sick of, our prices are higher than everybody else's. And, it's very comfortable in our place. I'm sick of that. There's too many coffee shops out there to choose from. And Starbucks does not rate very well when it comes to their coffee. They rate pretty poorly. Let me see something here. Because I can tell you just how bad they rate on my... Okay, the Starbucks Reserve is 23rd. That's at Icon Siam. It's number 23 out of all the places, out of about 100. It's number 23. That's because it's a reserve and they have their better coffees. Now, the regular Starbucks is 37. It rates number 37. And it's not because of the quality of their coffee. I can tell you that right now. So, there you go. A MacBook Air with the M1 chip edits video so fast it's insane. Beats year-older 6,000 Mac desktops by a mile when it comes to video rendering. Really? Wow, thank you, Dale. All right, that's two. That's two, baby. All we need is three. All we need is three more. That's it. They gotta be, like is that what it works out to? Let me see something here. What the hell's going on here? Yes, we need three. All it has to do is be more than 200 baht. 200 baht. That's it. If you want to sign up and get yourself a membership on this channel, it's $1.99. Okay. You want to use Patreon, uh, it's $5. Yeah, yours is 222, so you make the cut. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Even if you don't want to, give the full 200 baht, that's fine. Doesn't really matter to me. I have not made this goal yet. I'm like, whatever. But I find it hard to believe I can't get 5 of these. Um, like one day, just like everybody's like, oh, I'm in a good mood today. Okay, it never happens that way for me. I don't know why, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. What happens happens. What doesn't. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Um, and let me see here. What else did I want to talk about? Okay, something else is the language in Thailand. And now I always say I think you need to have functional Thai. You need to have some basic skills to say, Sawadee krap, Sabaydi mai krap, ทำยังไงบ้างครับภายในครับหิวข้าวไหม You need to ask certain things. You need to be able to have a conversation with people, and it should be a little deeper than just "Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you." Which is what if you ask some Thais if they speak English, some of them will go. More and more, they're speaking English. However, if you learn their language, again, it's for your benefit. And I think you need to learn the culture. Does anybody know what lamok chokapet, what that means? Probably not. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see anybody answering me. But I know there's a lag. But lamok, lamok chokapet. A lot of people have no idea about this. It basically means you're obscene, you're vulgar, you're lewd, you're nasty. Which a lot of people, they don't ever learn these kind of words. They don't learn. They learn hello, goodbye, thank you, I'm fine, I'm sick, I'm whatever. But they don't learn. They don't get any deeper. So I would say, if you just get a little bit deeper than the basic language, I would think it will help you immensely. Sopeni and Katli. Yeah. Let's see. What is this? We see. What is this? Dope Kong. Yeah, I don't know some of these, but a yellow flower. All right, I don't know about that. Uh, yeah, I don't really know what that means. I never heard of that before, but that's not to say that I just don't know what it is. You know, Contrary to what some people may think, I don't know it all. There's a lot of things that I just go, I don't know about that. And I'm more than willing to acknowledge that. I don't think I know everything, but I have a fair knowledge of the culture and a fair knowledge of the language. And my language, as I've said, I'm going to uh, get myself into some language. Actually, it's the Romkemhang that I really want to go to. And before they didn't have it because of COVID. Um, Now they may. So let me see something here. Anyway, I think no matter what, it's important. It's important that you, yeah, okay. I think it is now back. They are, they teach Japanese too. I think that's good. I wouldn't mind learning a little Vietnamese, although, I don't know about that. Burmese, maybe. Cambodian, I used to speak a little bit of Cambodian. Now I've kind of forgotten about it. I don't have my cheat sheets anymore either. I used to have cheat sheets that I would carry with me, and if I forgot something, I would look at it and I would remember. It was to help me learn the languages, and I had them in like 6 or 7 different languages. But I think it's important here in Thailand, and I just think you're going to go a lot farther if you speak the language. And my wife said, "No, no, that's not the. You don't have to learn. No, you don't have to, but you should." It's just like if you go to America, oh, you don't have to learn English. Yeah, but you know what? Then a lot of people, they're not going to understand you. You're gonna be like, "Well, I'm a Mexican who lives in America, and I don't speak any English." Well, why don't you learn? It's their country. It's their language. Maybe you should learn. The other thing that I want to talk about is, if you come here and you are basically alienated, and I could say in a way that I kind of am on the outside. I don't necessarily want to be friends with every Thai and their mother. It's just not me. But I don't want to be friends with every Farang and their mother or brother or whatever. I choose my friends carefully. I choose the people I hang out with very carefully. And maybe that's not a good thing, but I have a family, and then I have a circle of friends. I got like maybe 5 fairly close friends here. And I think that's something that you need to build upon when you come here. Now, obviously, I've been here for 30 years. I got like 5 friends. I have a lot of people that I see, I associate with. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Oh, yeah, nice to see you. And I sit down with them sometimes, and I talk to them for a couple minutes. Or we're just standing. There's a guy from Seattle. Uh, he walks through the mall. I always see him in the grocery store, and I think he's been here about 15 years. I heard Plonchit pronounced on the BTS and was surprised on how it sounded. Plonchit. Anyway, I think it's important. And of course, if you can make friends with a couple of foreigners and a couple of Thais, you should be fine. You should be all right. I mean, I'm friends with a couple people from my yoga class. Now, I'm not like great friends. I don't go out to dinner with them. I'm not like, hey, me and you should go out to dinner. Hey, we should go. But I'm friends. I talk to them all the time. They talk to me. They want to know. Oh, like I went to Vietnam, right? All of them are like, whoa. I mean, all the girls in the class. There's very few men in the class. Um, oh, how was your trip? Oh, it was really good. Oh, do you have any photos? Yes, I have photos. Let me show it to you. Now, those are kind of like acquaintances. I have plenty of those. You know. So I think in order not to be lonely, you have to get out there. You come over here now. What I see is with the YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers, they claim to have lots of friends. They have girls that, of course, they don't pay for them. Um, which who knows what the truth is. But and the other thing is that you have to remember is that visa policies tend to be a little bit varied depending on the country you're from. And some people think it's really hard to navigate the system. I don't. I don't think it's that hard. Um, if you've got a job, now that's a bit different. But the HR department where you work should take care of that for you. Uh, and I have a buddy, well, my friend that moved to Cambodia And then he moved to, now he's in Seattle, and he's like, I want to go back. So he's thinking about coming back to Thailand. His HR department used to take care of everything for him. He didn't have to pay for anything. And it would be, a month before his work permit and visa were going to expire, and they would take care of everything for him. So that's something you need to make sure that you think about, because, just coming in on a tour, I hate to say this because I used to do this. Coming in on a tourist visa and thinking you're going to stay for, 8 years, 10 years, probably not going to happen. Sometimes, they may get a little snippy about it. They may not want you to keep coming in. They may say to you, you need to get a proper visa. Yeah, well, I do have a visa. I have a tourist visa. Yeah, but that's not a proper visa to live here. And that brings me to another point. Living here and staying here short time are definitely not the same. I thought I was going to stay here short time, like a year. But it worked out differently. And now I'm here almost 30 years. So, the visas are always a consideration. You always have to think about them. I have thought about maybe in the future, maybe it would be beneficial to have an elite visa. I don't know, because it breaks down to you're paying, you pay a certain amount every month, and it's higher than if you're just to get a retirement visa and pay for it every year. It works out to a bit more money, right? But you don't have to worry about anything, and you get treated a lot better as far as coming and going from the country and that kind of thing. And I had thought about becoming a permanent resident, and then they were like, "Listen, you're not going to get a permanent residency unless you are working here." So that's out. Um, Healthcare, yeah, the healthcare is another thing that you have to think about. And that's something that I think. Okay, listen, you're a young guy. You come here. You go, yeah, I want to go to Thailand. I'm going to stay there for a year. Okay, maybe you have insurance back home. Maybe mom and dad pay for it. Who knows? But you get here and you decide to stay longer. Well, now you're going to have to get that insurance renewed. Now, if it's a regular insurance policy and it covers you here in Thailand, great. But if you're on a travel insurance, you can, okay, you just keep re-upping it. Yeah, you can do that. It's not exactly what the best way to do it. I would not think that is the wisest way to do things, because I think it tends to be a bit more expensive. But if you don't care, then that's fine. Um, and here in Thailand, listen, I hate to tell you, but people are crashing their motorbikes, they're crashing their cars. Maybe they're fighting in Muay Thai and they have an infection or something. They got to get it taken care of. Maybe they got the dough, they can take care of it. Guess what? If you had insurance and the insurance covered it, you wouldn't even have to think about it. So that's something else you might want to take into consideration, especially if you're young. Because when you're, old, I'm sorry. When you're young, you tend to be able to get away with a lot more, and you recuperate from injuries faster. When you get older, you start to have chronic conditions, and you just get older. Things break down. I noticed, for me, I used to be light on my feet. There was a time when I was, I would move around, and man, I was quick on my feet. That was, 35 years ago. Now, I'm not light on my feet. I get up and it takes me, 10, 20 steps before I'm like, okay, now I'm really sore. Every time I get up from here and I start to walk around. I have to walk a little slow and get back into it, just because you're getting older. Now, I had a hip replacement. My insurance didn't cover it. They wouldn't cover it. So guess what? Has to be paid in cash. That was 10 grand. Um, Also, you need to think about if you're older, the reality is that you may get sick. Do you have anybody here to take care of you? Do you have a wife? Do you have children? I mean, they can't sit with you every minute of every day for, until you like pass away. But having people there for you is important. You need to have some kind of support. The other thing is your taxes. You got to always think about that. I don't really want to talk about that much because that's a sore subject with me. But uh, it's not that complex if you don't have a lot of different moving parts. Like, I don't have a bunch of houses in the United States, so I don't have to worry about that. It's pretty easy for me. So the other thing that you need to think about is your quality of life. And the reality is, honestly, for me, I think my quality of life is better here than it was in the United States when I was living in California. I think it's better here. I cannot see myself going back, knock on wood. I cannot see myself going back to the United States and saying, oh, I want to live here forever. Even in the Florida Keys, which I really like. If I lived in the Florida Keys, what would happen? I'd be paying $1,500 or $2,000 a month for an apartment. Probably pissed off it was costing me so much money to live there. And I wouldn't want to be there. And I love the Keys. I mean, I love the Florida Keys. That's like one of my most ideal places. I think it's great there. But if you got to pay, $2,000 or $1,500, I know there's people paying $3,000. Wait a second, let me see something. I just put apartment in Key Largo. Okay, here we go. Apartment prices in Key Largo vary depending on the number of bedrooms in the apartment location. One bedroom, $1,750 to $2,300. Two bedroom, $2,550 to $3,750. Three bedrooms, $4,000 to $6,550. Five bedroom, $6,200 and up. Every one of them, I'm looking at them here. Two bedrooms, $2,550. Two bedrooms, $4,950. $4,000 for a 3-bedroom apartment. So a 2-bedroom, $2,700. I mean, do you really think I want to spend $2,700 when I can live in a place here? It costs me $200 and it's a townhouse. Hell no. So the reality is, the truth is that here in Thailand, you get a lot more for your money when it comes to accommodation. That's the truth. Now, if we're talking about someplace, New Mexico or somewhere like that, then that's a little bit different. It's not going to be quite that much, but Key Largo is a nice place. But let me see something here. Hey, thanks, Gabe. Isla Morada. Oh, today is right now. It is Halloween in the United States. The average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in Isla Morada, Florida is $1,750. The average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is $3,750. That's ridiculous, man. Here's 3,500, 1,800, 2,800, 2,000, 2,250, 1,200 per month. I don't know what that one's going to look like. 2,500 a month, 2,550 per month. That's crazy. So if you're here in Thailand, be grateful that you're not paying those kind of prices. If you're paying, $2,000 a month here, you probably are living in something that is quite nice. Very nice. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, We don't need to know more about that. All we need to know is you own nothing and be happy. I wouldn't be happy. Here, I'd be happy. Honestly, and I've said this before, my family gets by on about anywhere from about 4,500 to about 6,000 a month dollars, and a lot of that money goes into savings. I don't even touch it. It does. I don't even. My wife's in charge of that department. I don't care. She's not gonna. She's not gonna screw me around. She's not gonna. I'm not worried about all that shit. I mean, 25 years of marriage. I think she's gonna stick around. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't care because I'll be all right no matter what. But let's say we earn 5,000 and we're spending 5,000 a month. That is the kids going to school. That is food. That is electricity. When my electricity here, lately it's been a little bit cheaper than the rent here, but it's been more than the rent here. The rent is 7,000. It's been like 8,000 for the electricity, which is what, $250. That's not all that much. But lately it's been 6,000, 6,500. So that's pretty cheap, right? But we got all these other things. And food, I mean, I can't even stress how much food costs now when we go to the grocery store, because the last thing that we want to do is buy 4 things from some vendor that lives down the street or whatever and have to buy Thai meals. And the thing is that most of the time, one meal will not fill us up. It can help, but and it hits the spot most of the time, but it doesn't do everything. You carry any type of home insurance or renter? No, we don't. Now we do have medical insurance, and that's probably around $350, $400 for 4 of us, which is pretty cheap. And most of it's because of me, because I'm old. The kids are relatively inexpensive. But my wife, if she's starting to get up there, and then me, forget about it. That's not too bad. I don't know how big the jars are, but I see the applesauce all the time in there. And I used to eat apple. I like the chunky applesauce. But I was just saying, Cocoa Pebbles, man, a box of Cocoa Pebbles is 309 baht. That's about $9. It's not cheap. Now, you want to get something like spaghetti sauce. They don't have great spaghetti sauce. Small. Yeah, okay. So there you go. 300 baht, and it's small for 2 of them. One big one would probably be 300 baht. So, you're paying for applesauce. Why does it have to be so expensive? Is it just the transport costs? What is it? I need to put my glasses on because I can't see what the shit. Hey, listen. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And even if you cannot see down below the video window, you can go to CASHAPP, an American in Bangkok, become a sponsor on this YouTube channel, or send a super chat. You can get American Bangkok merchandise. You can even go on Patreon, but don't go to Apple to use Patreon. Just go right on a website, because it'll cost you 30% more on Apple. Go to my website at anamericaninbangkok.com. Or you can get something through the link on Amazon, or you can use Wise to make your transfers. I got the link down below. All the links are down below. And let me see something here. There was something I was going to do. Let's see here. What was it? Make your own spaghetti sauce and then freeze it. Yeah, you can do that. And I mean, I bought tomato paste and tomato sauce and, you know, chunk tomatoes, and that kind of stuff. And I've done that. I personally don't like to eat too much pasta. So I don't usually need that. The kids do. And it's good to have some stuff that you can make really quick. Which, sometimes it's just hot dogs, sometimes it's sausage, sometimes it's sandwich meat, sometimes it's cereal. But I don't like some of that stuff, and I don't want to eat some of that stuff because it's not good for you. Let me just say something here. I want to give a big thanks to a few people here. If my list will come up here. These are all my YouTube sponsors, and I appreciate that. For some reason, it's very slow to load, which, that's just how it is. It's like YouTube, come on, come through for me. What is the big deal? My internet is fast, supposedly. Unbelievable. That's just unbelievable. I don't know what the deal is with it. Anyway, let's see here. Cost of living. Remember, with the cost of living, that things are generally cheaper here than in the West. However, it depends on your lifestyle. Uh, if I'm buying all kinds of things and they're imported, you want to get some imported avocados. They're like 99 baht for one, and it's a relatively small avocado. Uh, so you have to think about those kind of. You want to get cheese and it's imported from Belgium or wherever, the Switzerland or something like that. Well, guess what? It's going to cost you more money. Um, and if you're coming here, you don't want to do visa runs. You don't need to do all this. You really don't. It just doesn't make sense. And it's as simple as that. All right, let me give a thanks out to some of these people here if I can, because now it's starting to come up. Okay, Fire Dude. Thank you very much. Robert Pierpoint. Thank you very much. MGTOW Gamer. Gilles Doucette. Thank you. David Alexander. Narve Omri. Andy Travels. Charles Akana. Dale Apulskis. Dowlo. Carnivore Chronicles. Botman. Chris Mott. Tom O'Connell. I wonder where Tom is. I haven't seen him in a while. Vixter. Beeson. Mr. Mitch. There's Mr. Mitch. He's back in Thailand now, after being in the United States for quite some time. Tokyo Sam, thank you. Carlos Colucci, thank you very much. Stephen K., who I have not seen in quite some time. He's probably busy. John Frum, Suwon, Mr. Allen, Tim Mays. Thank you, Tim. Mindy Corcoran. Fantastic. Lee. Tony 7682. Henry McIver. LH. And Jim Urardi, who Jim and LH they've been subscribed to my channel, members of my channel for more than almost 5 years now. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let's see here. Let me see something, if I can. Yep, so I said thank you to them. Okay. Now let me see something here, if I can do this. It always takes me time. I wish I had some guy, hey, just to take care of things for me, will you? Thank you to Elaine to Mr. Billy Ray and also Mr. Carlos, and also to Dimitri. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you to all my those people who give to the channel. I appreciate it very much. All right, so let's see. What is the deal here? Okay, what does this say? How much is maple syrup there? The fake stuff. I'm sure the real stuff is crazy expensive. Yes, it is. It's around 450 baht, something like that, for that log cabin stuff it's real. Expect to pay double for any foreign food. Most of that is import tax. I don't know if it's double, but yeah, it might be double for some things for sure. And it's going to be more money just because it's important. I mean, it's just common logic. Bruce, especially the stuff I make, an old Sicilian recipe that will make your toes curl. Okay, that's nice, Robert. That's very nice. So you have a great recipe for sauce, spaghetti sauce. Last night we had what do you call it? Fettuccine with white sauce. I gave that to the kids, and I gave them a piece of chicken, and I gave them some vegetables, zucchini and tomatoes, and a little bit of onions. So that was their dinner last night. I whipped it up. I did not make my own white sauce, though. Okay, so let me think about some other truths here. The truth is, if you're coming here and you don't want to integrate into the society here, I understand that, but don't think that you're going to be viewed in the same light as somebody who does. If I walk up, why somebody, and start talking to them in Thai, that person's view of me is much different from you who just walks up, hey, how you doing, man? It just helps, like I said, to speak the language, but also to know the customs, because you build up a rapport with the people that you're dealing with. And then, of course, you cannot never forget the Mipe and Rai attitude, which is prevalent in Thailand. And, if you don't want to get into a confrontation with somebody who's Thai, you won't. I mean, because they are not going to blatantly challenge you. That generally does not happen unless you are just a total prick. Then they will challenge you. And maybe you'll get your ass beat, maybe you won't. I don't know. But now I'm looking at this here, and I've got this here that says language barriers are common since English is not widely spoken outside tourist zones in major cities, so learning basic Thai phrases can go a long way in day-to-day interactions. It's exactly what I've been saying. And I think it's important that you know how to communicate with the people, because that way they view you as someone like them. When you're just some guy who goes, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm American. Like, you speak Thai? No, I don't speak Thai. Sorry. And you don't want to speak, especially if you don't want to speak Thai. If you're like the guy in Patty who's like, I'll never learn how to speak Thai. Well, then guess what? You're always going to be that Farang that they look at and they go, this guy's been here 20 years. You don't speak a lick of Thai. And they look at you and go, ugh. They know that you're either lazy or you're being a prick or whatever. Now, they don't usually care. Not like you, who seems to care because, whatever reason it is, I've got this hard on for ties. Oh, they all want my money. That's another thing. No, they don't all want your money. Let's get that straight. You cannot go up to any girl and say, hey, babe, I'll give you $100. But if you sleep with me and you give me a blowjob. No, you don't do that. A very small percentage of the population are pay for play. Now, maybe the one you're talking to is willing to do something with you, but I would say the vast majority are not. And unless you're out in the villages where they are dirt poor in some places, and I've been to these places, on more than one occasion. The girls, they now, especially the women are more proactive than the men in Thailand. I don't know why it is that way, but they are. They're more proactive. They go out of their way to do things and to get ahead in life, and they are hungrier than the Thai men, generally. Generally speaking generally. Uh, and that's something else that, I don't know who's going to tell you this kind of stuff, but, you know, it's the women a lot of the time who are the ones who they get educated. Um, and they're the ones with good jobs. Now, I'm not saying men don't do these things. They don't get good jobs. Of course they do. But I think women are a lot more proactive uh, than the men. And I think they tend to do better in general than the men. You had that Thai lady after you on your visit to wherever that was. Well, she wasn't Thai, she was Vietnamese. I don't know. There's been Thai chicks after me too, I mean, not toot my own horn. They're not usually all that great looking. but, but you know, there was the one with the red panties who, she like pulled her dress up. Hey, look, you like? No, not really. I don't, No, by the rubber trees. Oh, that one lady. Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that one. I probably could have went into her house within an hour. I probably could have had my way with her. I don't know. You never know. She might have just been looking for, she might have been looking for a sugar daddy. Or she might have just been looking to get laid down. Who knows? I don't know. I try not to think about it because I already know. I'm at home. I'm here. My kids, they're upstairs doing whatever they're doing. Cats are walking around. Old lady will be back tonight. She'll come in. You know, I have my woman here. I've had her for a long time. So, I don't worry about that stuff and I don't think about it that much. I just laugh at it. It's kind of funny. It was kind of funny with that lady. The lady with the pink panties was not so funny because it was a bit like, ho, ho, what are you doing? I mean, not that her body wasn't okay, but, like, hey, we just met. How about you buy me a drink before you show me your panties? You know? And the other thing is about with women. Listen, older people tend to have more money than younger people. I hate to say this, but some women are attracted to money. They are attracted to success. Now, if you're younger, hey, think about it. If you're 17 years old and you're in school, this little 16-year-old that's hot, she's not thinking about, oh, you got this much money, you got this. She might be thinking, oh, he's got a cool car and he's kind of cute, right? She's not thinking about how much money you can give her. I mean, I can't say I've ever thought about that when I was in high school. I never thought about, oh, I've got to give this girl money. Ridiculous. And, that's the thing. If you come to Thailand, you don't have to go to the bars. I would say if you want to really get in, what you do is if you need to go to the bars in the beginning, get it out of your system, go for a month. And in the meantime, start taking some Thai lessons. By that second month, you should be able to speak a little basic Thai. If you're going 3 times a week or whatever, you should be able to speak a little basic Thai. Then you go around and, you fan my, you got a boyfriend? By Tio Dai Mai? You want to go out somewhere? Let's go somewhere. You say whatever you need to say. Oh, narak mak na. Oh, you're so lovely. Tamay kun narak jangเลย. You can say stuff like that. And some girls are going to go, ugh. I used to say this phrase that some Thai girl taught me was, I don't know if I'm saying it right or not, but I think most of it is right. Tamai kun tamalai ditjai. What was it? Tamai kun tamalai jitjai pom. Why do you hurt my heart? And the girl would go, some of the girls went, they just laughed and they went, I hurt your heart? I was like, yeah, you hurt my heart. They were like, dude, what are you talking about? You know, I think it's maybe 8 to 10,000 baht for like 20 hours, something like that. I don't know. That's why I'm talking about going to school at like Ramkapeng, get a degree in language. Just be like a certificate, I think, something like that. It's like, 2 years or something. And I think that would be good for me. I think it would be good because it'll take my Thai to the next level. Because, the truth is that uh, I don't think I'm a great, my Thai is not great, but I am functional. People know what I'm talking about. They can carry on conversations with me in Thai. I've had long conversations with people in Thai, and they told me, like, especially taxi drivers, women, men, they're taxi drivers. They tell me, God, it's so nice to speak to somebody who's a Westerner who speaks my language. Because sometimes I want to talk to somebody, but I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say what I want to say, you know. So that's kind of good. You can do those kind of things. Your housing arrangements, this is another thing. The truth about housing is most guys pay too much. I'll say that right away. Most guys just pay too much. Um, and that's because they're doing everything themselves. They don't have somebody going around to places and looking for them, or just going by themselves and then telling you hey, I found like 3 places. You might want to look at them. This is the price for that place. This is the place for this. This is how much it is in this place. And this is that. So I'll go with you tomorrow and we'll go to these apartments or condos or whatever it is. If you do something like that, you have somebody who speaks Thai who's with you, you generally will pay less money. If I came here by myself, the lady would try to sell me that, rent me this place probably for 10,000. Which you figured out 3,000 per month times a year, it's 36,000. It's not huge. Like, oh God, you saved so much money. Yeah, that's a fair chunk of money. But over the number of years that you might stay there, that's a lot of money for nothing. You save. You don't pay more, right? I let my wife do all this stuff. If I had to do it myself, I would go in and they offer me something and I go, no, listen, I'm going to be renting for a year. Don't give me the foreigner price. Give me the best price you can, because if it's not a really good price, I'm not going to stay here. And, you make sure that if you move in, you're not paying extra for electric. You're not paying extra for water. And if you're paying for the internet or something like that, it is usually not more than about 500 baht. It's not great internet sometimes, but you get what you get, and if the place is foreign owned, then generally they're gonna tack on money to the electric and water. So the truth is that you got to really negotiate with these people, and you need to really check everything well. So, because here's the thing, in most places, if something goes wrong with your condo, your apartment, depending on what it is, you may have to fix it yourself at your own cost. Now, it might be, the faucet doesn't really work that great in your sink. All right, it doesn't cost that much. Now, if you ask them, they might fix it, they might not. In a house, that's a different story. I'm responsible for a lot more here. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, I don't hear a lot of people who are younger, people who they've been here for a year or two, complaining about the weather. Uh, maybe complaining about other things. I don't know, but I don't hear that much about it. And quite frankly, I'd rather live in a place that was too hot than live in a place that was too cold. So, uh, the last thing is that, and this is kind of difficult. It takes a little time, and it takes some smarts to pick this up, but that is the legal system and the rules in the culture. You know, um, like as a foreigner, I would never go into a business with what do you call those things? The smoking tubes. What do you call those things? I can't remember what the hell they're called. The little cylinders that have weed in them or whatever. People really appreciate the effort you make learning Thai. It opens up a whole new world. Yes. Yeah, the vape pens. If you go into a place and it's, a coffee shop and you go in, you're smoking weed with a vape pen. Why? Even you're sitting right outside the door and you're doing that. Now that's something I would never do. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, why would you do that? You can do it inside your house if that's what you want. I don't think that's a problem. You can do it in your house. You can do it in your apartment. You can do it wherever. But that's the thing. Why would you go walking down the street in Bangkok without a shirt on and no shoes? Why would you do that? Or no shoes, whatever it might be. Why would you go into a place and not have your shirt on when you're going to go in to an establishment? No shoes, no shirt, no service. You should remember that. I don't care how good your body is or how bad it is. You really should make sure you wear a shirt. And then, especially if you're going to get involved with legal matters, property ownership, business operations, these kind of things, you really need to know the law. You need to figure out the ins and outs of the law. And a good lawyer can really steer you in the right direction. Now, a bad lawyer, they might just take your money and you might not know anything. Um, Obviously, Thailand has strict laws on their alcohol and when you can buy it. There are also some things like drugs. Try going outside and you've got, I don't know, a couple grams of heroin on you. Go walking around Nana and there's some cops there. Try doing that. Now, you may not ever get caught. Who knows? But if they happen to have a dog there and you get caught with it, it's like, first of all, what are you even doing with that shit? If you're doing that stuff, you need to get off it. That's all I got to say. You need to really get off it. Even if you're sniffing coke. The only place that's safe, there is no place. There's no place safe anymore. And I just look at it like this. I go, God, you get caught with, let's say you get caught with, a gram of coke. That's not much. You can do that if you could do that in an hour or less. Depends on how many people are there. Depends on your tolerance and all those other kind of things. But let's say that you decide you're going to do it. Well, you get caught with that. I don't even know what the punishment is, but it ain't nice. So I just think to myself, what's the positive versus the negative? Is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. Even with weed, that's why I said I don't smoke weed anymore. I don't even eat the cookies or brownies or anything. I've done it. I did it here. Not much. But what is the positive that you get from it? Well, I get stoned, man. I'm like wasted right now. It doesn't do anything for me. Maybe I'm just an old man now. I don't know. But when I was young, I used to like it. But, things are different. This is, 45 years, 46 years from when I started with drugs. And drugs are a lot different now, and I don't even want to mess with them. So I would say the rule here is don't mess with drugs. That's the best thing I can say. And if you're gonna, okay, weed, that's different. But be smart about it. And also, when it comes to the monarchy, like I've already said, um, I've had people at Pacamara talking to me about the king. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Unless we are in an apartment, we are alone. I don't want to talk about it. You know why? Because that is the stupidest reason to get thrown in jail. Oh, you say something about the king, you get thrown in jail. You say something bad about him. Well, then don't say it. I don't care if it's just like, hey, you know what, man? Even in passing, it's just stupid. Now, I guarantee you, there are some people out there. They come over here. They go, yeah, man, whatever. It's just like I'm going to go on a plane and I'm going to go. Oh, guess what? I got a bomb. Why would you say that? Why would you say something about the king or the queen or whoever? Why would you go out of your way and say something like that when you know it's just going to cause problems for you? Again, the outcome, the result is not worth it to speak about it. That's kind of how I think about a lot of things. And that's why I don't care about anybody else, but I try to stay to myself. I'm only around people that I know I can talk around, that, they understand things here. I don't really make friends with a guy who, this is my first trip here, man. And they know very little. There are some people that come here and they're dialed in. Right away. This person's got a brain on their, a brain in their head. They know how things work. They're not going to do something really stupid. I met a guy, I think I wrote about this. Well, I've met a couple of guys who did this, though. And that was, I'm talking about the vapes. I don't know about Hangover 2. I mean, I saw it, but I don't really remember it. But all I know is there are things you should do and things you shouldn't do. But I know a couple of people who, I know what I was going to say, but I can't remember it. It's all those years of smoking weed when I was 16. I lost my memory now. What the hell was I going to talk about? It was about something. Oh, yeah, they're dialed in. Thank you. Some people, they come over here, and this is why I say some young expats are immensely smarter than some older expats. I don't doubt that. Because some guys come here and they know exactly what to do, how to think about things. Uh, they are more apt to learn what they need to learn, and they don't care about a lot of other frivolous bullshit. But I've known several guys who we'd go out to a lunch. I think it was only lunch. I don't think one was a dinner, but I know there was this guy from Texas that I met a long time ago. He was one of the guys. And, some of these guys, they're enamored by their waitress. And it almost pains me to say this, but, they're enamored by the waitress. All right, listen, if you're enamored with the waitress, maybe you flirt a little bit with her. And if she flirts back, then maybe you go, hey, would you like to go out? Okay, uh, you want to go have a coffee, whatever the hell it is. You want to go have dinner? But these guys that I was with, and there's probably been 3 or 4, they wanted to touch the woman. So they touched them. And every single woman, they'd have their hand out like this to give them something, and they pull back. They go, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, I was just, touching her. Just, I thought it was nice. I was being nice to her. And I'm like, no, no, no. She doesn't want you to touch her. First of all, she's Thai. If she wants you to touch her, she'll tell you. You'll know. But if she's just some waitress you just met, what kind of stupidity is that? Oh, let me just go and grab her on the ass or, touch her arm. Oh, I'm not being really, I'm not being too forward. I'm just touching her on the arm. No, they don't like that shit. You don't know them. They don't know you. They don't want you touching them. How stupid can you be? But this has happened a number of times. And every time I just said to the girl, I'm sorry. He doesn't know. And they're like, okay, all right, whatever. They just blow it off because they figure, well, as long as you're not like grabbing them by the ass or whatever else, they're fine. But there are people that stupid that think they can just touch whoever they want, and they think, well, I'm just being friendly. She don't think you're being friendly. She thinks you're being way too forward because you don't know the culture. Again. And here's the thing. I was thinking about something yesterday. Sometimes, and it's not always young guys, it can be old guys too, but sometimes the young guys, they meet a girl, they go out with them, and then, they bang them or whatever, or maybe they go out another time and then they bang them or whatever it might be. And the girl goes on her merry way. He doesn't pay her a dime. He's like, woo, yeah, I got myself a Thai girl. I didn't even have to pay for her. But what it might be is that the girl is just too damn shy because she's not like experienced. She's not someone who has been in the game for a while who's going, hey, listen, how much are you going to give me? She might just be some girl and she's like, well, this guy's going to know because he knows about Thailand. So he's going to know he has to give me some money. Some of the girls are like that. And so she goes away not getting a dime from you. And maybe she goes back. She goes, oh, well, he'll give me some at the end. He'll give me some money when he leaves. They leave and they go, oh, I had this girl and she was free and she was great. What a sweet girl. Oh, so nice. Oh, my God, she was so good in bed. And the girl's thinking, I gave myself to this guy. He didn't give me anything. Nothing. She's not thinking like, oh, I really like this guy. She might like you. But guess what? Some of the girls are thinking, why you don't give me money? Why have problem? He cannot give me money. That's how some girls think. Believe that. I talked to some of them about that. And they're going, he's so stupid. He's stupid. He doesn't want to pay me money. I like him, yes, but, I want his money too. So, you got to, that's why I say you need to be a little bit dialed in. And nowadays, it's easier than ever to be dialed in. You just go online and you find a bunch of people and you find the like-minded comments that sound the most reasonable to you. And if you kind of follow those things, you come to Thailand and it's not rocket science. It's easy. It's a piece of cake. You come here, you keep your hands to yourself. You don't be rude. You make sure you got enough money. You make sure you dress halfway decent. And you'll do fine. Now, if you start going out with girls and you expect them to pay, or they don't see you paying, and they go, some of the girls will just go, I don't have money, I can't pay. And then you go, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll pay. They don't want to have to go through that. Some girls are like, why I have to tell you I need money? Why? You stupid? I tell you I don't have a lot of money. You don't believe me? It's funny, no one is commenting now. But that's what some of these girls do. That's how they say, that's how they think. They're thinking, oh, you don't want to give me any money. They're hoping, you'll give them a couple thousand baht. Or you leave, you've been with them for 3 days. Maybe, I've been with him for 4 days and 3 nights. And he don't give me any money. And maybe the girl's thinking, he give me 10,000 baht, 15,000 baht. Okay, no problem. But he don't give me shit. That's how it works. With some of the girls, they may not say anything, You may think you're getting a free girl, but in what it really breaks down to is some of the girls are just shy to say anything about it. They don't want you to think poorly of them. Think, oh, well, she's a whore. Now, some of the girls may have their own money. They may have their own jobs and everything. That's how it works. But the girls I'm talking about are the girls who are kind of on the game. They're on the edge. I used to know this girl who worked in a phone place that I used to go to all the time. She was kind of cute, not great, but she had big tits. I didn't know that until I looked at her Instagram. And she always used to be in these bars with guys. This is my boyfriend. Oh, this one's my boy. And I was going, how the hell is she doing this? I know she ain't making that much money. So she would have a little bit of money that like paid for her rent and paid for, maybe some of her makeup and a little food and stuff like that. She went out to the bars. Maybe she had enough to buy one drink. Then it's like, oh, you buy one drink for me? Oh, thank you. Oh. And she was so sweet and so nice. They thought, oh, wow. And they would have this girl. I guarantee you that this girl, as nice as she was, as sweet as she did not have much money at all. She's probably making 10, 15,000 a month. And I guarantee you those guys were giving her money. Guarantee you. Now, I have not seen her in years, but I remember her. I remember always, and I used to say to her, how do you go to all these places on Instagram? You're in all these bars and you're partying. You must make, big money. You big money. Oh, no, I don't have money. I small money. Anyway, those are some of the truths, some of the realities of living in Thailand. Listen to them, don't listen to them. Believe me, don't believe me. Up to you. Everything up to you. No, because she was on my Instagram. Actually, she said to me, you're a YouTuber. Do you make money? I said, well, yeah, I make some. I don't make a lot. I said, but I make some. She said, oh, maybe you can show me how to do it. I said, yeah, I can, but here's the things you need to remember. I said, first of all, you need to remember it's going to take you a long time before you can make any money. You'll be doing it for free because you got to build up the subscribers and hours watched and all this other kind of stuff. Oh, really? And then, I didn't see from her. I didn't see or hear from her for a while. And I would keep going to this place because I know the owners. And I would go, there's a couple of Thai people. And I would ask about her. Oh, well, she's in Phuket or she's, in Samui or something like that. They had no relationship. It was just, an employee-employer relationship. She just, who knows why she did that, but then she ended up being on Instagram. She probably talked to people. People told her, oh, in Thailand, Instagram, number one. You must go to Instagram. I don't, why you go YouTube? It's very hard to make money. Oh. I don't know why, but that's what she did. She went on Instagram. All right, I got the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning for my goals. Fortunately, I've got 2 out of 5 today. It would be nice to hit the 5. Maybe one day I will reach my goal. That would be nice. But, you do, you don't, you don't. So, anyway, I hope you guys like this stream. I should have a video going up probably tomorrow. And I think I'll stream on Sunday. I'm not sure. I think. So that's the end. End of the show. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Until next time, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Bangkabi, to be specific. Thank you, Bruce. What else do I want to say? Choke D, Lel, Juk and Mai. Choke D. Good luck. Juk and Mai. See you later. All right? Okay. End of story. We'll talk to you. Oops. Shit. There we go. Talk to you all later. All right? Ciao.